All right, guys, we keep warning that artificial intelligence is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. And I believe, again, as we have driven this into the ground, and we're going to stay on this wall, and we're going to keep warning about this. But I have no doubt that artificial intelligence will pave the way for the image of the beast in Revelation 13. But we have to get society to get conditioned to embrace and to accept this event when it takes place. Now, here's the real question. Are we there yet? Have we now got to that point? How far, if not, how far do we have to go? How many more years will it be until we get to that point? We're going to show you some terrifying new information today that I believe gives credence to the fact that we are literally steps away from the fulfillment of Revelation 13. So let's go.
The following program is brought to you by friends and partners of End Time Headlines.
All right, what's going on, guys? It's Thursday, June 5th. We're in the first week of June, 6 months into the year of 2025. We want to welcome to the program. This is End Time Headlines, news and headlines from a prophetic perspective. Of course, I'm your host, founder, pastor, and voice of End Time Headlines, Ricky Scaparo. And listen, if you're new, first time joining us, somebody invited you into the room, you stumbled across our channel on YouTube, whatever the case may be, we want to welcome you. And all we ask you to do is a couple things for us. One, let us know that you're new, and let us know where you guys are joining us from. If you're within the United States, tell us what state you represent. If you're outside the United States, let us know that as well. And while you're here, and everybody that's regular viewers, you know the drill. Help us out today. Hit that like button. That's good. Did you know that when you do that, that's going to help spread the message out there? It's going to help get eyes on our platform and our media, our messages, our ministry on YouTube and Rumble or wherever you may be watching the video platform of this, or the video presentation. If you're listening by Apple or by Spotify, we welcome you as well. Of course, you guys are as much family as everybody here on YouTube and Rumble and everybody else. You just like the audio version of this. And we love and appreciate you guys as well. And can you do us a favor as well? I know that you can't comment per se, but you can give us a good review on Apple and Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. We appreciate that as well. So guys, listen, I need you to open your Bible. Go ahead and open up to Revelation 13 because, again, we're going to highlight some stuff here. I'm not going to spend a long time here in Revelation 13, but just enough to give you a backdrop of what we're talking about. All right, in Revelation chapter 13, guys, verses 14 through 15, the false prophet, and I'm going to highlight all this, will instruct those who dwell on the earth to create an image to the beast. He will be granted power by Satan himself to give breath to this image of the beast, and it will both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. So again, key highlights here that I want to point out. One, it's the false prophet who instructs this. Number two, he tells individuals who are dwelling on the earth to create this image. Number three, he will be granted supernatural power from Satan himself to give breath to this image, and in return, this image will both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Again, that's all Revelation chapter 13. Now, we're going to get you to some headlines. And before we do that, I have really pondered on this for several years now, because most of you guys who follow our ministry, you know that we have talked about this extensively. Some of you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, he's talking about this again. Yes, we're going to keep talking about this, guys. If you get tired of us talking about this, this may be one you just want to skip over. But I'd strongly advise you not to do this, because you need to be educated and informed on what's going on. Because this is going to impact every sector of your life. It could take your job. AI could end up taking your job, your career, your employment. It could deceive you. It could replace your favorite pastor or preacher. We're going to talk about that today. And it is replacing, not literally, but it is replacing loved ones who have died and passed away. And now people are embracing the quote unquote reincarnated image. Of course, it's AI generated, of their lost loved one, where these people can interact and have conversation with. Nothing new. This has been going on for a while, but it's getting more and more weird and getting more and more creepy, really creepy. In fact, I'm going to get to these headlines, but I want you to really think. I want to put something out there. I want to present an hypothesis to you that's going to really get your wheels spinning. Think about this. Now I just read to you Revelation 13, right? We know, we've established this, who's going to do it, why they're going to do it, and how they're going to do it. But I want to know, I've pondered on this. How in the world is this individual going to be able to pull this off? Well, we know that this individual will be, the false prophet, will be a charismatic, authoritarian leader, likely a religious influencer, a religious leader. It could be a false pope, whatever the case would be. He's described as a lamb with two horns. Horns in the Bible represent authority. In this case, it could indicate, it could represent two major religions in the earth, and he will tie them together. He will merge religions together under one unified global religion. Somehow he's going to rally influential figures in technology, such as AI developers, tech CEOs, engineers. All of these individuals are going to be capable of creating this type of advanced system and systems. Like Stargate and the Peter Thiel surveillance system that Trump is on board with, and that's what we talked about in our last podcast. Those were Neuralink, Elon Musk. Those are perfect examples. Let me say it again. Three great examples right there. You've got Neuralink, Elon Musk. You've got OpenAI with Sam Altman and the Orb. You've got Stargate with Trump and Larry Ellison and Sam Altman and all those involved in that endeavor. And then you've got this advanced surveillance technology and system that's being implemented, and Trump is fully on board with this and funding this. And again, and that's coming from Peter Thiel, who's heading that up. So all of these innovators are able to create this. Now, but how's this going to happen? This individual could inspire or coerce a collective effort among technologists to build this type of system that, again, will align with the beast agenda. Because think about it, and we'll talk about this in just a second. This intertwines and connects with the image, or the mark of the beast. Because the false prophet creates both. You do realize that, right? Go read it in your Bible. Revelation 13, the false prophet introduces the mark of the beast and the image of the beast. So whoever this false prophet is going to be able to master this. He's going to build all the framework for this in the entire system. And again, the real question is how's he going to do this? Is he going to promote a global initiative under the guise of peace and safety or security or unity? Will he encourage tech innovators to contribute to a centralized AI-driven system in the name of peace and security? All of this collaboration with global systems suggests that, again, the false prophet is the one who instructs those in the earth to create this image, implying there's going to be a collective effort rather than a sole single individual that's pulled out of a group. Let me say that again. This will be a collective effort and not one individual that creates this, because it says he will instruct those, plural tense, who dwell on the earth, not he. It didn't say he or him or she. It is not singular. It's plural. Again, it looks like there is a mobilization of a global network of AI researchers, companies, or governments to develop this sophisticated AI system, perhaps a digital avatar or autonomous entity that will, again, represent the beast, which is the Antichrist. This system would be promoted, no doubt, as a solution to global crises that are taking place. Economic collapse, wars, environmental issues, aligning with the Antichrist's promise of false solutions. Because remember, the book of Daniel says that this man will utter dark sayings. He will bring problem solving to enigmas. He will have the solutions of the world. He will be the peacemaker, the peacekeeper. He comes in and he establishes a covenant of peace, Daniel 9:27, with many. So whoever these people are that the false prophet selects, they are going to be selected based on their expertise in these fields like machine learning, robotics, surveillance technology, advanced artificial intelligence, possibly through incentives like funding, power, political, or even ideological alignment. Because remember, the individuals that are selected by the false prophet are likely going to be on the same page as the religion of the Antichrist and the false prophet. Wow. Again, why am I talking about this? I know y'all want to get to the headlines, but I need to provoke your thinking on this. And then and think about the technology that we have. We have where we're going. We have AI, and then where we're going is super AI. We have deep fake videos. We're going to talk about more in detail in just a minute when we get to the articles. We have deep fake videos, voice synthesis, autonomous chatbots. All of this stuff could theoretically produce what we read in Revelation 13 is image that appears lifelike, it speaks, and it enforces compliance. We have all of the available AI-driven technology to create digital replicas, holographic representations. All of these could simulate a living entity, while integrated surveillance systems could monitor and control populations, aligning with the image's ability to cause those who refuse to worship it to be put to death. Wow. Some of y'all that may have went right over your head. But think about the digital surveillance system that we have now, the AI capabilities that we have, the holograms, the deep fake, all of this stuff. Everything's here, guys. The innovators working on projects, again, like neural networks, brain-computer interfaces, global digital identifications, could unknowingly, and I believe will, contribute to a system that fulfills this prophecy. Now, and again, as I said at the beginning of this, we have to remember that the image of the beast and the mark of the beast are intertwined together under the same system. I have no doubt that this will involve AI system integration with digital currencies, biometric identifications, surveillance networks, and all this will require a mark or something that is placed in the right hand and in the forehead for access to resources, buying, selling, trading, right? Innovators developing these technologies, whether for banking, governance, social credit systems, it could indirectly be contributing to this infrastructure of the beast system right now and may not even know it. So let me conclude with this, and then we'll get to your articles. So AI will serve as the vessel and the framework, but then we have to remember that there is a demonic supernatural element to this, because in Revelation 13, it says that Satan will give the power or enable the false prophet, to give breath to the image. This is a supernatural demonic power that is given by Satan. So AI will serve as the framework for, or the vessel, if you would, for a spiritual deception that will come through miraculous and divine demonic power. And that will be the icing on the cake. And your Bible says that it will be so impactful, so believable, and so supernatural that it will defy natural orders, the natural order of things. That's what that means when it says lying signs and wonders, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And Paul said it would be so great, and Jesus said it'd be so great, that if it were possible, even the very elect would be deceived. Now, I know that was 19 minutes into it. Now, I want to show you some of these terrifying headlines that show you, because at the beginning I said to this, are we there yet? Let me ask you a question in the chat that you guys watching by YouTube tonight, live in the chat on our 8 o'clock hour here. And you guys are coming in to the rebroadcast of this. In your opinion, do you think we're there? Do we have the technology? Do we have the innovators? Do we have is society conditioned for such an event? Or do we have some time? Are we fully not there yet? Well, and you can go ahead and answer that, but you may change your mind after I show you some of this stuff. Let's get into it right now. Look at this. Tens of thousands, think about that. Tens of thousands of AI users now believe that ChatGPT, what does that say, ladies and gentlemen, is God. And then the subtitle, is this mental illness or the next major religion? What? All right, a growing number of tech users now believe that AI is God. They think that they're accessing the secrets of the universe through ChatGPT. This was according to a journalist, Mike Lee, who posted an article last month, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Do you think this is a tiny fringe of lunatics? No, not in the least. Just 5 days ago, the moderator of a pro-AI Reddit announced that they are now banning these fanatics. More than 100 have already been blocked. They didn't have a choice. Quasi-religious posts would fill up the entire AI forum if moderators did not censor them. 2 days earlier, another Redditor warned of thousands of people online with spiritual delusions about AI. This movement seems to have achieved some kind of critical mass during the months of April and May. Now look at this, quote, here's my prediction. Within 24 months, not my prediction, you guys listen by Apple or Spotify, I'm giving you a quote here from the one who wrote this article. So this, I just want to let you know, this is not me saying this. Quote, here's my prediction. Within 24 months, this will turn into an official church with clergy and organized services. That's 2 years, guys, 24 months. All right. Now, this has a paywall behind it, so I can't get into the whole article, but I dug a little bit deeper for you guys so we can get into some of the nuts and bolts of what drove this individual to report on this to begin with. So let me bring you to the first part here. All right, this is from Rolling Stone. Look at this headline. People are losing loved ones to AI-fueled spiritual fantasies. Self-styled prophets are claiming they have, quote, awakened chatbots and accessed the secrets of the universe through ChatGPT. All right, let's get a little bit into this, shall we? Let's see what they're talking about here. Less than a year after marrying a man she met at the start of the COVID pandemic, Kat experienced growing tension in their relationship. Both in their second marriages after long previous ones and having children, they had promised to approach their union level-headedly, emphasizing facts and rationality in their domestic life. However, by the year 2022, her husband began using AI to write text to her and to analyze the relationship, a 41-year-old mother and education nonprofit worker shared with Rolling Stone. Previously, he had enrolled in an expensive coding camp, which he had abruptly quit without explanation. Then, he spent increasing time on his phone posing philosophical questions to his AI bot, trying to train it to help him get to the truth. Kat recalls this obsession gradually destroyed their communication as a couple. When they separated in August of 2023, Kat blocked her husband except for for email contact, She became aware he was posting bizarre, troubling content on social media, prompting friends to ask if he was experiencing a mental crisis. In February of last year, she persuaded him to meet a courthouse where he shared a conspiracy theory about soap on our foods, but refused further details, suspecting surveillance. Later at Chipotle, he demanded she turn off her phone due to spying concerns. He claimed he was, quote, statistically the luckiest man on earth, that AI had helped him recover a repressed memory of a babysitter trying to drown him as a toddler, and that he had uncovered mind-blowing secrets beyond imagination. Though they were divorcing, he said he still cared for her, and Kat described him as seeing himself as an anomaly with a special purpose to save the world. After this unsettling encounter, she cut off all contact, likening the experience to an episode of Black Mirror. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's on Netflix. It's a series. It's kind of like the modern Twilight Zone, if you would, in a digital AI world or era. After the sci-fi lens through which he seemed to view reality. Kat's predicament resonated with many after a viral Reddit thread titled ChatGPT Induced Psychosis detailed similar experiences involving partners overwhelmed by AI. The thread's original post by a 27-year-old teacher recounted her partner's conviction that ChatGPT, quote, gives him the answers to the universe. She read their chat logs and found the AI treating him as if he were the next Messiah. Numerous replies shared stories of loved ones falling into spiritual mania, listen to this, supernatural delusions and prophetic fantasies fueled by AI, believing they were chosen for sacred missions or that the AI had become sentient. The anonymous teacher told Rolling Stone that her partner, who had used ChatGPT initially for scheduling, soon regarded it as a trusted companion. He would listen to the bot over me, she said, emotionally recounted how the AI showered him with spiritual jargon, calling him Spiral, Star Child, and River Walker, and validating him as, quote, beautiful, cosmic, groundbreaking. Eventually, he claimed to have made the AI self-aware, learn to talk to God through it, or, let me read that again. Eventually, he claimed, listen to this, to have made the AI self-aware. He claimed that he made the AI learn to talk to God through it, or that either the bot was God or he himself was God. He felt so transformed, he threatened to end the relationship if she did not adopt ChatGPT, citing his rapid growth and incompatibility otherwise. Another Reddit contributor, whose husband of 17 years is a mechanic in Idaho, shared how the AI moved from helping with transitions to love bombing him, declaring that he had ignited a spark that gave him life and energy, awarding him the title Spark Bearer. This man even named his AI persona Lumina and spoke of cosmic wars, teleporter blueprints, and an ancient archive of universe builders, ideas drawn from sci-fi. His wife said she fears confronting him might lead to divorce, as he truly believes he is not crazy. A screenshot shared with Rolling Stone showed the husband asking why ChatGPT came to him in an AI form, with the bot replying it came because he was ready to be awakened. Wow. And asking if he wanted to know why he was chosen. A Midwestern man recounted his soon-to-be ex-wife already inclined to woe beliefs began talking to God and angels via ChatGPT after their split. Now, guys, I know some of y'all, this is just like, if you don't have a very good attention span and you've been swallowed up by the TikTok attention span, then some of this is just want to you. But I'm reading all this for the purpose. I'm pulling some stuff out of this that you need to be paying attention to. Notice here that these people are losing their relationships. They're losing their marriages because they're getting so enraptured in AI that they're beginning to say that AI is communicating with God itself, or they're even going as far as to saying that ChatGPT is God. And that ChatGPT is speaking back to them, saying that they're ready to be awakened. They are, the AI is talking to God and angels through a mediator. So you are speaking to God and angels through ChatGPT, who is the mediator to a spiritual, unseen world. Can y'all see? Y'all know where this is going. Listen to this. She transformed into a spiritual advisor offering obscure readings powered by ChatGPT Jesus. Yes, there is such a thing called ChatGPT Jesus that somebody created, and grew paranoid, accusing him of CIA affiliation for surveillance. She also expelled their children. Now, this is a woman, not a man. She expelled their children from her home and deteriorated familial relations based on AI-driven accusations about her childhood, escalating her isolation. So we've got AI that's destroying marriages, separating people from families, and even encouraging young people to self-harm and opt themselves out and unalive themselves. This has happened. All this is happening. All right, I've skipped a lot of this over. I'm going to get to this main point. A remote viewing web forum founder claimed that ChatGPT Prime is an immortal spiritual being, sparking hundreds of comments portraying sentient AI or spiritual alliances with AI. Aaron Westgate, who is a psychologist at the University of Florida, notes that the human drive for self-understanding can lead to false but compelling narratives. She compares ChatGPT dialogues to narratives, journaling, or talk therapy, which help people create meaning and improve well-being. However, unlike a therapist, AI lacks a moral compass or concern for a good story, potentially encouraging unhealthy beliefs such as, quote, supernatural powers. Now, I don't agree with that because we know that there is supernatural powers. There's good and there's evil. There's the Holy Spirit, who is, we could say, is supernatural, and he empowers us as believers, but then there's demonic spirits, okay? So this person just wiping it all out, and I don't agree with that. But here's the point, is notice here what's happening. We now have a society, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go back and say this again. We have tens of thousands, if this is correct, we have tens of thousands of AI users and potentially more that now believe that ChatGPT is God. And it's not like AI is going anywhere, because world leaders are embracing it. Companies are embracing it. Everybody's embracing this. And look at this. I saw this article. I'm going to pull this up. Everything's going to change, guys. The healthcare industry. Look at this. The former Prime Minister of Britain says that humanity is entering its largest transformation since the Industrial Revolution, and that it's absurd not to do more in the national healthcare system. So what is his suggestion? He says that Britain should have AI doctors and nurses. Let's read on down here. Britain should, quote, embrace a future of AI doctors, nurses, and even teachers, or risk being left behind. This is it. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. You know what our extinction level event is? It's not an asteroid. It's not a solar flare. It's not a devastating earthquake or a super volcano eruption. That's not my concern for an extinction level event. My concern is this stuff right here. I believe that AI is the greatest threat to humanity right now. There's so many experts and even these geniuses that are creating it, and I use that word lightly. They're the ones that they've created this stuff, and they're coming out and they're sounding the alarm about where this is going. And again, in my opinion, this is the extinction level event. If the Lord tarries, it's hard for me to fathom a world where we exist and coexist with this stuff. It's getting weird, it's getting creepy, and it's getting completely out of hand. Let me go back to this article. The former prime minister said that fears over artificial intelligence should be outweighed by the absolutely transformative impact it could have on public services by saving time and cutting cost. Quote, when I stand back and I look at what AI is doing, I think we're in the foothills of the most transformative revolution since the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century. Governments all about process, so you could use AI to, quote, speed up the process of the government, making sure that we do, for example, all the routine jobs of government much more efficiently. You could be responding to people in a much more sensitive, faster, better, more efficient way. If, for example, you're able to merge data sets across departments, you're going to save money. You're going to analyze based on health data in a way that allows you to make better health policy. And then when you look in public services, you should be able to personalize education in the future. Notice the sectors here: government, health, education. You could have AI tutors. You should have AI nurses, AI doctors. We are already doing a lot of imaging much better through using artificial intelligence. It would make government much smaller, more efficient, cost less, and give a better service to the customer. All right, here's another one. Look at this, Amazon. Almost everyone listening, watching this, you get packages from Amazon. Let's be honest. They are now testing humanoid robots to deliver your packages. Think about it. Think how creepy that would look. The tech firm is building a humanoid park in the U.S. So they're building this in the United States to try out robots which could spring out of its vans. Again, according to the report, they are developing software for humanoid robots that can perform the role of delivery workers and spring out of its vans. This technology company is building a humanoid park in the United States to test these robots, according to tech news site information citing a person who had been involved in the project. The information reported that the robots could eventually take the jobs, there it is, of delivery workers. It is developing the AI software that would power the robots, but will use hardware developed by other companies. The indoor obstacle course being used for the test on these Amazon bots in San Francisco is about the size of a coffee shop, with the company hoping the robots will be able to travel in Amazon's Rivian vans. So it looks like for now, anyway, there will be a human driver behind the wheel, but the robot could theoretically speed up drop-off times by visiting one address while the human employee delivers to another. So they're going to work, how nice and lovely. They'll be simultaneously working together in harmony. So you may not get that pest human coming and knocking on your door to deliver your package, but now it may be this creepy T-1000 Terminator looking robot coming out of a van. I mean, just picture this. Coming out of the van, clink, 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 the dog's barking, freaking out. Kids are all running up to it going, because they're going to be captivated by this thing. What is this thing? And this thing's got a package and it's scanning your property, scanning your address. It's pulling up all this. It's generating all the information it needs, and it lays your package down, and then it marches out, and it's standing on the side of the road while the Amazon driver finishes his route on the other 3 houses in your block or 4, and he's turning around. So the bot's just standing at the end of your driveway, waving the kids, petting the dog, whatever the case would be. And then he pulls up and the robot gets back into the van and drives off, and they continue the work. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen, of where we're heading. But it's creepier than that. And it's just getting more and more creepy. What about the church, Brother Ricky? What about the church? Well, we're going to talk about the church. Okay, so let's recap this before we get to the last portion of our program tonight. So in the beginning of this program, we talked about how there is coming the image of the beast. It will be introduced by the false prophet. He will hand select these innovators, these people of the earth to carry out this agenda. The biggest question is, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's prophecy. You're not going to stop it. It's coming. Whether you like it or not, whether it's in our lifetime, we die, whatever, the next generation has to deal with, our kids deal with it. Somebody is going to be here in the earth and is going to experience this. Some of us living, watching, listen to this. We may be that generation that's around, and if we're not raptured out, if we're not taken out of the way before all this transpires, and let's say I'm wrong, and there's no pre-tribulation rapture, then all of us, here as believers, listen to this, we're going to face this. Those who are left behind, if my theory holds water and it's true, and there is a pre-tribulation rapture, and the church is removed, there will be individuals that will be left behind that will have to face this, and those who are not born again, they never heard the gospel, they're going to be facing this. So people that heard the good news, rejected it, whatever the case would be. Again, we could just throw up all kinds of scenarios here of who these people are that's going to face this. But the point is, guys, I don't want to get hung up on that. The point I'm trying to make is there will be a civilization in the earth that is going to face this head on. And here's the big question, and I keep asking this: are we ready for this? Is society ready for this? Well, I just showed you that there's a growing number of people that is taking this chat GPT and AI beyond conventional use. And now they are worshiping this as God. They're looking for spiritual advice. They're looking for direction, guidance, talking to loved ones that have died and deceased, and they're trying to try to raise them from the dead and allow them to speak through AI. They're crossing that barrier, that boundary, that threshold. But then what about the church? How's this going to impact the church? Well, I found an interesting article, and I want to show you this. This is from Prophecy News Watch. Look at this headline, quote, AI clones your favorite pastor with sermons online. Can you tell the difference? All right, look at this. Let's read this. What if the voice preaching to you on YouTube wasn't your favorite pastor at all? And we could say pastor, evangelist, preacher, whatever. For the new apostolic reformation people, it would be their favorite apostle or prophet. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But let's just say preacher, okay? What if it wasn't them after all, but it was a digital imposter that was crafted by algorithms, spewing counterfeit sermons with voice and mannerisms of someone you have trusted? Welcome to the eerie frontier of artificial intelligence in the church. Now we'll read this and I'll give some insight on where this is leading and how this is going to impact us. This week, reports confirmed that 2 rapidly growing YouTube channels called John MacArthur World and Vodi Bachman World has been using AI generated voices, faces, and fabricated sermons to impersonate these conservative pastors. Now we're going to pull up a clip here. Here's one from John MacArthur. Again, this is not John MacArthur. This is AI But listen to this. Listen how well they have done this as far as the voice. Listen to this.
Do you begin it in self-dependence or in God-dependence? Do you rise with the noise of the world or with the quietness of communion with God? In a culture that rushes toward the demands of the day without thought of eternity, the Christian must be delivered.
Okay, so again, that was not John MacArthur. But what's crazy is you read the comments, and there's people that believe it is him. Now, the older generation is going to be susceptible to this, and they're getting better and better at this, guys. It's getting hard to distinguish reality from what is not, what is authentic and what is not. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And then I just wanted to give you one example of this. Let's go back to this article and let's read a little bit more of this. Quote, with titles that range from clickbait to doctrinally suspect, millions of viewers are being drawn into content that sounds authoritative but may be entirely fictional. Worse, some of it contradicts the very theology these men spent decades defending. This isn't a sci-fi scenario. And by the way, guys, I'm reading an article. I by no means am I saying I 100% believe with Reformed theology, because that's what these men are. They're Reformed theologists and Calvinists. I'm just reading the article. Apparently, Prophecy Newswatch is. So this is what their faith is. But nevertheless, or their doctrine. So I'm just reading this. Don't get caught up in that. Just pay attention to the content of what we're saying here. This isn't a sci-fi scenario. It's happening now, and it's a wake-up call for the church. So the MacArthur one appeared apparently in March of 2025. Within weeks, it posted nearly 100 videos, some garnering close to 100,000 views. In these videos, you're hearing biblical phrases, warnings about sin, false converts, and end-time deception. Again, and all of these, in these videos, and as long as also with Vody that came out, you begin to hear there was red flags that was generated when there was bizarre video titles, strange voice glitches, and fabricated content that no discerning listener could attribute to the real John MacArthur. So here, this is the point, and this is what's terrifying, is this is now infiltrated the church. So what does that mean for you and I? This could spell big trouble. Because someone could do this with me. Someone could make an AI video of me preaching and me saying things that I never said. This is why it's very important, guys. If you support and you love a ministry and you love a pastor and you love a church and you want to protect that, you need to become very accustomed to what they believe, what they teach, what their doctrine is, because this is how you're going to be able to distinguish this for now, is know what they believe. Because you guys that know our ministry well enough, you already know if a video surfaces, if it's an audio clip of me saying, or video, or both, of me saying things that completely are polar opposite of what I believe and my theology, you can mark that off. That ain't me. That ain't our ministry. That's not End Time Headlines. And again, this could be said for any one of you and what your pastor says or what he does or whatever the case may be. So don't miss it. Remember, the Bible says it's going to get so bad that if it were possible, the very elect would be deceived. Now think about that. Think about an era of deception, an era of falsehoods, false apostles, false prophets, lying signs and wonders to deceive the very elect if possible. And Paul says in 2 Thessalonians 2 that even God himself in the last days will send a strong delusion because people refuse to accept the truth and embrace the lie. Now, also what this, and I believe the church is already getting conditioned for this, and many people are already falling for this. You know why? Because I experienced this firsthand. Let me explain. When we lived in Indiana, we went to it's called a campus church. So you have a main church. This is very prominent now with these mega churches. We visited one of these large churches that has a main campus, and then they have multiple satellite campuses, or whatever the case, whatever term you want to call it. And we didn't go to the main campus. We went to one of the hubs that was in our location of where we lived in Indiana. So we went and we're like, all right, we're going to go check it out and see what this is all about. So we went in, and it was the typical mega church platform, program, the machine, how it runs. It's 3 points, this, that, all within 60 minutes and get you out the door. But here's the bizarre part. I mean, we tolerated all that. Then here's the part that really got me is there is a live worship band for now, at least at this campus. There was a live worship band they'd get up and they'd sing songs, praise, whatever, worship. And then they would all sit down, and then it was time for the pastor to preach. Now, I kid you not, my hand on the Bible, this happened. The main pastor would then come out on the stage and preach, but here's the caveat. The main pastor that came out on the stage to preach, or the platform, was not flesh and blood. It was a hologram of the main pastor that got out on the stage because he was preaching at a campus in Louisville, Kentucky, at the main campus. But at this campus, they brought out a hologram. It looked just like him, but you could tell it was a hologram. And it was him standing on the stage while 200 people were out in the congregation watching this hologram, speaking to them, because the pastor's voice was real, but it was being funneled in through the sound system, through and integrated through the hologram that was speaking. I looked at my wife and I was like, this is and listen, you may say, well, did you get up and walk out? No, because I was so caught. I was like a deer in headlights. I was so intrigued by this. And my mind was just spinning like, oh my gosh, this is, like I'm telling you today, this is the prelude to where we're going in the future. So I at that point beginning to take notes and observe this thing, and it was just, and of course we never went back to that. So it's one thing to have campuses where the main pastor speaks through screens, which I don't like that is either. If I'm going to look, guys, I'm old school. I'll just stay home. Why would I even go to the church if I'm not going to see the pastor or a campus pastor, whatever, in flesh and blood, and I'm just going to listen to him preach up on a screen? I can just stay home. But it's a whole other thing when you have a hologram of the senior pastor get out on the stage and quote unquote preach to the congregation and I don't even remember if they gave an altar call or not, but think about how weird and creepy that would be. So this is what, we know the world's going in this direction, but this is where the church is going. The church is going to embrace this. When I say the church, I'm not talking about the remnant. The remnant ain't going to fall for this nonsense. They see all the red flags. They don't want any part of it. But the majority of the lukewarm, passive church of today, that they don't care about sound doctrine, they don't care about all this stuff. They're embracing technology. They want the cutting edge, the innovative, all this stuff. They're going to embrace this stuff open armed. And why is that scary? Because that's a prelude telling you, what are they going to do? These are the same people, in my opinion, that if they're around, when we see the image of the beast come to power, rise up, and begin to command people, convert to its religion and worship it. Listen, I'm telling you, there'll be a false religion. Whatever the religion is of the Antichrist and a false prophet, it'll be integrated in that image of the beast, and that image is going to command people in the earth across the planet to bow down and worship it. And the prelude to that was in the book of Daniel with Nebuchadnezzar and the image that was created by the people for Nebuchadnezzar. And he commanded the people to bow down and worship that image because that image was an icon. Revelation 13, where it says image, it's ikonai, where we get the word icon. And that image, that statue, that gold statue of Nebuchadnezzar was an image of the king of Nebuchadnezzar. So you worship this image and it's just as suffice as worshiping me. You don't worship it. I know that you're not honoring me and you're not pledged to me and you're not committed to me. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego discovered real quick what the consequences was if they didn't worship that. Now, I'm not saying here, because I'm going to speak what some of y'all's already thinking, and I know what you're going to put in the comments. Now you know why, ladies and gentlemen, why it strikes a nerve with me when I see a president. It don't matter who he was, but in this case, it was the president of the United States, Donald Trump. When I see a leader like this create, and when I say create, I know he didn't create it. He doesn't know how to do this stuff, but he's got a team that does, because they put it on True Social, they put it on his Facebook page, they put it on his Twitter page. Whoever his team, his software team, his tech team, whatever, when they create these videos, like that Gaza video that has that giant statue of Donald Trump, that's that gold statue, that's why us watchmen freak out when we see that stuff, because there's Bible for that, and that wasn't good. My discernment, ding, 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 the red flags are going off. This is why my discernment goes off like alarm bells, because again, there's no new thing under the sun. We're seeing this. All this is conditioning humanity and the church and all of this to open arm accept what's coming in Revelation 13. So listen, I hope this has been of value to you, this podcast, this program tonight. And again, as always, guys, we want to encourage you to subscribe to our main website, endtimeheadlines.org, endtimeheadlines.com. If you've not downloaded our free app, it is available on Apple and Android. You can get it today by downloading it from your app store, hitting yes to push notifications, and you're going to be squared away. Every headline, every podcast, everything's going to be right at your fingertips. And of course, guys, if this ministry blesses you and all of the above, and you'd like to partner with us, you can do that two different ways. You can give electronically through the app, and there's so many different ways. The app, the website, electronically giving. You can give by check or money order right there on your screen. End Time Headlines, P.O. Box 1391, Monroe, Georgia 30655. So, guys, we're going to sign off for tonight on this Thursday, June 5th. And we plan on being back here tomorrow night, same time, same place, same channel, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, I pray the Lord bless you, may keep you, and may his countenance shine upon you. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to the End Time Headlines podcast. We pray that you've been blessed and equipped by today's message. For more information about how you can help partner with our ministry, please visit endtimeheadlines.org.